Okay, here we go. It's start time today. We got special guests. Meet the Tylers, Kim and Nelson. Introduce yourself to the people.
What's happening? What's going on? I'm Nelson,
I'm Kim,
and we are
the Meet the Tyler's Experience.
All right, all right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you met, are y'all married, y'all have kids, a little, and the podcast a little bit, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with myself, Nelson. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
Moved, no doubt, you know what I'm saying. Moved to when I was about two. I moved to Baltimore. Then I moved everywhere, man. Then I moved to Minnesota. Then I came down here. You know.
And right now y'all are in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
All right, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Okay, so I'm Kim, and I was born in Kentucky.
Mm,
I lived there until about 8, and we've been in Georgia pretty much ever since. So, um, how we got here, kinda. Um, like the Brooklyn jungle love meets the Georgia girl, the dirty South girl. So it just kind of, it's like the opposite attracts, sort of.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, yeah,
okay. Y'all are married, right?
yes.
Yeah.
When did y'all meet? When did y'all get married? Y'all have kids? Tell me a little bit more about stuff.
You good at this.
Okay, okay. So we met in 2016.
16. Okay.
Yeah, and we actually started, we ran in the same circles, but we did not know each other. So
Wow.
we met online, but come to find out, his people was my people's people. So we literally were in the same room several times and never actually met. And then he seen me, I guess, comment on our mutual friend's page or something,
Wow.
and he hit me up and was like, "Hey, you know, how you doing?" Da, da, da. And it just
Started
went
from
from
there.
there. But we we actually got together in 2017. We
Mm,
dated for almost a whole year before we linked up and actually dated. So
gotcha.
Yeah, we actually did it the right way.
yeah, we
Okay.
dated before we had kids. We dated before we got married. Like, we actually dated each other instead of just, you know, did it the new wave era kind of way.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Tell me more. Y'all have kids now too, right?
Yes, collectively we have 4 kids. Uh, but we have 2 together.
Okay, okay. How old is the ones together?
Yeah, so I had 2 kids when we met, and they were 16 and 19 when we got our next kids. So
Oh,
my kids were grown, and he didn't have any children. So I gave him his first
Yep.
2 kids,
Made
and
us start all over again.
I had to start all over. And literally, it was like starting all over the second time around. So,
what is the age difference between you two?
I
good
just turned
question.
41 July, and
I'm 48. I'll be 49 in December. So there's 7.5, 8 years.
Okay. Okay, 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 okay. That's cool. That's cool. When did you start the podcast?
about what 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, we started okay, so we kind of have backgrounds in radio as well. He has a background being an artist, and I worked the radio before podcasting. So I had a radio background. He was an artist. People wanted us to start being guests. on their show. They just started like, hey, y'all want to be a guest? And it kind of caught us off guard because we never actually meant to be podcasters, but that's kind of, we was good at it. So it was like,
Gotcha.
we didn't know we'd be good at it. We just went for it because the opportunities were presenting themselves. And here we were having opportunities to do. The first year that we started guesting on, we didn't even have a season. We didn't have a show. They were calling us to Meet the Tyler's podcast, and we were just individual guests. Like they gave us the podcast title.
Oh, that is something else. Okay.
So that's how we ended up with a podcast, because once the people were calling for it, and it was quite apparent because we were getting opportunities to do this show. We were getting opportunities to do this show. Then they started requesting us to come out and do interviews and live events. And we're like, what do we do? We were like, he's an artist and I was behind the scenes. So here we are both on the screen. And we don't even know how to podcast. We're just talking, and we made a lot of mistakes the first season, right, babe? We did. We made a lot of mistakes the first season. We overstimulated ourselves a lot the first season because we had so many opportunities, Rod. Like we literally were getting booked for show after show after show after and people were just so amazed that we were a couple. So we were like, okay, we'll give them what they want then. So then we had to learn it because you're
Okay.
asking for something we don't do. We can talk to you all day long, but we don't know how to film and edit and which app to use and which, do we use StreamYard? Shout out to StreamYard. What do we use?
Yeah.
Zoom. Shout out to Zoom. Like we didn't know, we didn't know. So we just started the people that were, we got, I had an opportunity to be a co-host first,
Mm.
with, it was a show called The Voices of Reason
Hmm.
with Big Smash and Mario Wilson. Shout out
Oh.
Channel 82 Network and Bet the House podcast.
Oh yeah, Bet the
Um,
House. My guy.
I
He
was
really
co-hosting with yes, I was co-hosting with them. That's how I
co-hosting with him.
started the podcast
Wow.
thing.
He's
So
he's very shout out to Bet the House. He's very supportive and he's very try to be there for you if you need him and try to be hands-on with as new people come on because he understands the struggle. So he
absolutely.
he was definitely a big supporter for me as the grind. Go on.
Absolutely. Shout out to Big Smash.
Definitely
He's
shout out
he's
to
been
Smash.
very instrumental in helping us learn the business. He taught us different things along the way. Uh, the programming started changing, so we just went on and did our own thing. But we talk to Smash almost daily, because we still support and he still supports us. So, you know, uh when we left there, I started producing for other podcasts like Black Ink Radio. Shout out to Black Ink Radio. I
Yeah.
was uh one of the very first women producers at Black Ink Radio, so I'm proud of things like that. And that helped me to learn the actual business behind podcasting, radio shows, brands, logos. It all matters. And I didn't realize that until that point.
Okay, 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 okay. I want to ask y'all, what are y'all nationalities, Nelson and Kim?
Well, Black, Jamaican.
Jamaican, okay.
My dad's dad is Jamaican.
Gotcha.
I got a little Rastafarian in me.
I'm just a regular old bunny from Georgia. You know, I don't really know. My nationality is just Kim, you
Okay.
know.
Nothing wrong with
Uh,
that.
But at the same time, I mean, of course, obviously, I'm of a different persuasion, so you know that has been a part of our that's been a part of our journey, though, because it's been hard in this journey for us to actually get along with some people sometimes,
Hmm.
and for people to get along with us sometimes. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, that was gonna be
um,
my next question. I was gonna ask y'all, what is the challenges that y'all face being an interracial couple from both sides?
right. You want to answer
Well, you
first?
know, some people could be ignorant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, we just got to the point where we learn how to just block it. You know, we used to get mad at first, you know, address every situation, but some points you don't have to address every situation. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
You know?
As for me, I mean, the industry I actually work in, which is music, right?
Yeah.
That's like my 9 to 5 everyday job. I work in music. So I'm really the only person of my persuasion I'm ever around in my day-to-day life, honestly.
Hmm.
So a lot of times my feelings about what's said gets tossed out the window. So like, if I'm with a group of people that's not my persuasion and their opinion is this, and then I'm the only one with a different opinion, they automatically blame it on me being a different persuasion when really I just don't agree with what they're saying. It has nothing to do with me being another persuasion. Like,
I mean, honestly, people would think think first of all thinking like that, some are ignorant, so they don't see it. The broader spectrum. I've personally went to college. I've been around a lot of different nationalities, so I just see everybody as everybody until you show me otherwise. But that's just me.
and that's me too. And that's kind of, you know, on this subject, we our first season we avoided it completely.
Wow.
Like people would want to do shows with us, we're like, nah, we ain't ready for that, because I had to prepare myself to be on camera and actually address certain issues about things like this. Because let me state this, excuse me. I will never make okay the things that were done to people.
Hmm.
Um, Either today, yesterday, tomorrow, 10, 100 years ago, 300 years ago.
Hmm.
Like, I will never make those things okay because they were not absolutely okay. But I will not, I don't know how to say it. Like, I won't just not be me because of eggshells about something somebody did so
Right.
long ago. And they actually in that ignorance do to me what they say is the problem that the people of my persuasion done to them. So
Hmm.
therefore, it's not me playing the victim, it's me saying I'm not going to be a victim just because
Right.
of the way you feel about something that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. If I'm talking about a rapper, what does my actual persuasion have to do with
Right.
if I
And
whether I like a song or not? Like, I
right.
mean, just because I don't like it and you like it, don't mean that I'm some weird anomaly. I just don't like the song. Like, you know.
Yeah, I feel like that too. So how do you feel when y'all go out and they just don't understand y'all or no? What do you think of Nelson? Well, yeah.
Honestly, like it done got to a point where I'm like a brick wall now. As long as you don't put your hands on me, nothing you say even matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you cross them lines. Like, I don't got to that point, you know.
Gotcha.
And see, so I have to say that I'm not yet that evolved.
Mm.
See, I'm not gonna say I'm petty,
Uh,
but I'm also aware of what you're trying to say when you say what you say. So it's not like you can just say what you want to say to me and I'm just
Right.
act like it don't matter because it absolutely does. Because if the shoes were reversed, I would be
right.
getting run through the ringer. You see what I'm saying? So, um, it's not that I want to focus on ignorant, petty things. It's that you just
Oh,
can't be that ignorant and try to present your case to the whole world and expect the whole world to just go, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. No, it don't work like that. Just because it's your opinion, like
where y'all live, are there predominantly one race, multiple races, or something? If you could paint me a picture of what's
Atlanta
around
is
where you are in Atlanta.
Atlanta is a majority black town. The
Oh, you're
city
in Atlanta.
itself
Okay.
is ran. I mean, there's a black mayor, black DA, black.
Mhm.
So we don't live in that part of Georgia where we really have to like worry about him walking to the store
Right.
or
And
you
somebody
know
putting a shotgun. So, got it.
right. Here, I mean, we're integrated at this point.
Yeah.
But there's not even really neighborhoods where there's no other race in the neighborhood. Like
Right.
I haven't even found a neighborhood where they're like, oh, there ain't no white people over there, there ain't no black people over there. Like I I haven't found a place like that here in a very long time. Like so, I mean, we're evolving. It's just when certain this state is a known racist state, so it's not like it's a secret and everybody hides it. They don't. It's just a different kind of racism than what no I believe people up north experience. You know, whereas the racism up there could result in a 50-year bid, right?
Mhm.
Racism to down here might result in you coming up missing in a ditch with some hungry pigs or in the gators with the swamps. Like it's a different type of
Mhm.
fear here for that. But we just choose to surround ourselves and our children with people who support us. You have to know your people. Everybody's not
Yeah.
going to be your people, so we're not going to purposely take our children around people that we might offend us. you know there's certain things now when it comes to my kids, like people can say a lot of things about me and it doesn't affect me to the point where it'll break me, but when they start calling my kids half breeds and like zebras and Oreos and like they call our kids names, I get a little ignorant then.
No, because they're offending y'all in that way. So I personally understand that. I wanted to know that when y'all first started to really get serious, were the families more accepting of the differences?
Oh, you
uh
already know. It's like almost like a typical interracial couple. First, they gonna criticize at first. You know what I'm saying? Until you stay 10 toes down, let them know you ain't having that, and then they
Of
respect. You know
course.
what I'm saying?
well, and see, the crazy part is my family loves him. Like my family was
They
not.
accepted him right away,
It was the
right?
actual, from what you would think the it would be, it was the actual opposite with our
Right.
families. Like,
Okay, 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 okay. Yeah.
so like not no disrespect because that's my in-laws, but their immediate reaction to me was not like, oh, just a lovely woman to marry my son. Like,
Right.
no, like it was not like that.
Okay.
Whereas like my family was like, oh, okay, well, what do you do? Oh, okay, well, that's good. That was like my family's reaction was different on the more positive side than his was at the time. Now
Gotcha.
we're a little better
Now
off,
it's
but
Yeah,
much
because
better.
it's been a
you
couple years, so I assume they
uh,
had to get with it.
oh yeah, well, I don't think we stated that. It's been 8 years,
Yeah.
Mm.
8 years.
and we've been married 7 of them. So
Yeah.
They had to get with it after a while, right?
after a while, they just had to hate me less than they love him at some point.
Yeah, I get it. Um, so how do y'all deal with the differences? Y'all just try to compromise when it comes to the different opinions and the different like holidays and stuff? How does that work with y'all?
Holiday, basically, we have the same beliefs, basically, in
Oh,
holidays.
that's what's
So
up.
that's the easy part.
That's
You
easy.
know, both favorite holidays, of course, is Turkey Day. You know what I'm saying? Well, I like to eat more than she do,
Gotcha.
honestly. Like
But it's
eating
not
is my
because
thing.
that's the holiday. That's because
Right.
it's the family gathering of
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Thanksgiving. Like the actual,
Right.
see, we agree that holidays are just like
Family time.
family time, basically.
That's all.
Like you cannot take them for what people say they're for these days, because that's not exactly how the
Right.
holidays go. So
It's family
it's
time.
family time, time to give thanks for the people that you love and care about, and
Right.
for the ability to have the food, things like that. But yeah, we don't have that kind of differences. We don't really have we were religiously tied different
Mm.
in the beginning, but now
Y'all,
we're
y'all
kind
both
of
had
both
different
on the
religions?
same. Huh?
Y'all had different religions?
We did.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
Yeah, because now, well, it's complicated, but basically, we believe in God. You know what I'm saying?
we believe
We
in a
believe in
creator,
one God.
and that's how we
But
do our differences when
she
it
wouldn't
comes to
say
that.
she's Christian, but because I started out, I'm Muslim, you know, and that's my outlook on religion. Like, I don't criticize somebody just for being Christian. You know what I'm saying? As long as you believe in God and ain't with that crazy stuff, we good. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Um, I was born into Christianity, but I'm not I've been baptized Christian. Obviously, I have a Christian mother, grandparents. So I mean, I grew up very much Pentecostal Christian. Um, but I got kicked out of church several times in Sunday school because I just asked too many questions for them, and their answers weren't adding up to me being making it make sense. So uh I don't really I'm non-denominational. I'll just say that. I do believe there is a creator of all this somewhere.
Gotcha.
So, you know,
So when it comes to raising the kids, there's y'all try to teach them both your cultures and different foods and everything. Like how does that work?
absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. See, there's a little twist to this because while I am of the persuasion I am, my childhood wasn't filled with those experiences. So like I'm
Oh,
not a privileged persuasion. I'm you know, my mother was a divorced single mother that had cancer my whole life. So
gotcha.
we lived in the projects of the
Oh, okay.
so when people, I never have laughed so hard in my life when people call me trailer trash or trailer park trash.
The
That's
first
actually their
impression,
first
I get it. I get
insults as soon as they can't go line for line in a debate with me, or as soon as they not winning the argument, or now I'm a name, which I don't do, but they somehow do that. You know what I'm saying? But I've never lived in one my whole life. On the other hand, I have lived in the projects where we were the only family like us in a 20-mile radius. So, if experiences, your biological is not always what your experience has
it.
been. And
Right.
so
Gotcha.
if people are looking at only the skin
First
deep
impression.
version, right, they can't
Right?
see the actual experience if all they see is the skin deep version of what they're looking at.
Gotcha. And not a lot of people are open-minded, so I get it entirely.
Yeah,
Some
we try real
people,
hard to instill in our children that humanity matters above race.
mhm.
So, me being a human matters as much as you being a human matters. Their humanity matters as much as some random kid off in Asia matters. African people matter as much as Indian people matter. Like we literally it's not that we don't, because one thing I believe is that it's okay to be different. I don't feel like if we were all the same, that life would be much worth life. Like, you know,
Would be balanced.
there wouldn't be balance if there wasn't different shades of people, if there wasn't different sizes of people, if there wasn't different religions, if there wasn't different
Everybody is unique at the
economy.
end of the day.
Yes, we're all unique and it's all beautiful in its own beautiful, unique way. And just because my skin, because I'm the lightest person anywhere around me all the time. Like my mother's deceased, my only blood brother is deceased. I'm literally one of a kind. My last name stops with me. My kids don't have my last name. Like literally, I'm the last one. So I'm not going to let anybody do my mother injustice because she went out of her way to make sure I wasn't prejudiced or racist, or she gave me a different point of view at an early age. She
That's
didn't.
great to know. That's great to know. I
Yeah,
like
so
that.
I'm not going to let them do her an injustice and call her racist names and things like that when I know she wasn't that person. So, now I know people that are, you know. I ain't gonna say I ain't never heard people that are. I ain't gonna say that I don't even have some family that might be. I've never heard them personally say it. So therefore, you know, at the end of the day, but now that my mom's not around and my family don't even, so it's just us. We literally
Have each other. I got it.
we have each other. So and
Because
that's what our kids
where you
see.
live, Nelson, your family's in the area, or
Nah,
how's
my family is spread it like probably like what, an hour from here.
Yeah.
Well, I have a big family. I have family everywhere. Like, down
I mean,
here.
immediate. I was thinking about immediate family. But okay.
No, but my immediate family is down here though. Yeah.
Hmm. Um. So what type of shows are y'all watching at the moment?
Oh, good question.
Yeah. Ruthless, the Oval,
The Oval.
the Family Business, a lot of Tyler Perry stuff. He's a genius.
Carl Weber and Tyler Perry, all of their shows are like on the forefront right now.
Yeah.
All the Queen's Men,
I'm
the
waiting
Family
for
Business, the Black Hamptons.
I'm waiting for
Plus,
the new season of Wednesday. I watch
Never
stuff
heard of
like,
Wednesday.
huh?
I never heard of Wednesday. What is that on?
That's the little girl from the Adams family that they doing a little
they have a whole new show of Wednesday Adams from the Adams family.
yeah, I
Really?
think Netflix, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also watch Bel Air. That's one of the
Bel-Air.
best remakes they've done as yet. Like for any
The-
90s shows or movies, like Bel Air is one of the best
yeah.
remakes, in our opinion. Like,
I think Bel Air is okay. Sometimes I think that they take it too far, but that's how I feel.
oh yeah, we said that the other day. Like, oh, that definitely wasn't in season one, but I mean, in the first go around. But
But for a
I think
reboot,
with
they
that
kind of
time, it's kind of suiting
Yeah.
that it's evolved into those things at times. Like, because we
yeah.
were talking about this part. Remember, when Carlton in the original series, Carlton overdosed on like an ADHD pill, right? Like one pill in back in the day. In this series, they have him full blown on coke and Adderall, and he's like full blown on this series, and in the other
Right.
series,
I said they take
one
it too far with
episode,
some of
one
it.
time.
Right.
They definitely did. And then it's like they make the characters different because you have I mean, I guess my problem watching Bel Air, I try to make comparisons, but once you get into the show, you can't make comparisons to the actual Uncle Phil or Jeffrey or anything because it's whole new
Definitely.
characters.
Oh yeah, because in the beginning, that's kind of what I was doing too. Like in the beginning, I was like, "Wait, Uncle Phil wouldn't have did that. Hold up, Uncle Phil wasn't no crime syndicate. Like, what is going on? Like,
Oh my god.
but it's been adapted for modern day, and of course, the character of Uncle Phil now, and the character of Viv, and the character of Hillary, and they're all a little different in this
Yes, they
era
are.
than the originals.
So y'all don't watch Power.
Nah, I never really got into the Power.
I did in the beginning. In the beginning, I watched it, but after a while, I was just like, "This is another Empire. This is another like." It just was kind of repetitive after a while, you know.
Eh, I can't lie. I agree with y'all with that because the one with Tariq right now, they're drawing a lot of parallels. The Tariq spinoff, Power Book
Oh
2.
yeah,
And then with all the spinoffs, they're just trying to keep the show going. So to each their own.
yeah. To each
Yeah.
their own. Like it wasn't a bad show. It had some dramatic scenes. It just at a certain point, you're like, okay.
I could skip that show.
I can skip that show. Like, but see, I done that with a lot of the different shows that came out that was kind of matching that. Like, I haven't been into a lot of like I didn't get into Atlanta. I didn't get into Snowfall.
Yeah.
I didn't get into like there's a lot of shows that was like that that I just couldn't get myself into. Like,
I got into Atlanta, but it turned weird after a while, so I get it.
yeah, because that's nothing like us. So it kind of throws, it throws us off when we're down here watching, like, wait a minute, that ain't, but, um, so, okay, what was the other show that we watched?
It was another one. Let's see. Quite a few of them. One of them went off air. What was that show?
What, the one that went off the finale?
Yeah. What was that show?
Oh, yeah. We'll think about it in it.
Yeah. Yeah, we
But
getting all different types of
I mean, right now also I've noticed, I'm pretty sure since y'all on social media I can talk about this. They have so many different date and variety shows like Pop the Balloon and Love Island and Temptation and stuff.
oh yeah, I don't get into none of that stuff.
I'm trying to figure out where they're going with the pairs of people that, like, they brought Miss Netta and Charles up there. So are you saying they're open to a new boyfriend or a new girlfriend? Like, why were they popping balloons? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, why were Miss Netta and Charles in there popping balloons? Then you've got
A lot
Woody.
of times these people do what is called they'll bring a popular person on a show that's growing to gain more popularity.
Yeah.
Because you know how social media is so huge that if they know somebody that they follow is going to be appearing somewhere, that media draws views. So they do that a lot.
Yeah, they made it look weird though. Miss Netta and Charles on the Pop the Balloon show. Then they had Shamar and Woody on there from YSL Woody, the snitch YSL Woody. They had him on there and Shamar. What was him and Shamar doing popping balloons with women? Like, what is the what? That just you can't make that make sense to me. Like, I mean, I'm all for entrepreneurship. The ideal itself in the beginning videos were actually cute. Like,
Mhm.
well, would you dating Papa Balloon if you wouldn't? Like, that's actually a cute, like, ideal, right? But after 30 million of them in a month, like, it's kind of like,
Well, right now, um, people are kind of annoyed with the whole dating app situations.
yeah, I
So
can
they think
imagine.
that meeting people on these shows will get them close to finding somebody genuine because you're actually interacting more. But with the pop the balloon, they just be like, "Oh, I want somebody who's this. I want somebody who's that. And if you're not this, oh, you have this pop." So
Right.
it's
And
really like elimination right away, you know?
yeah, they get eliminated before they
Right.
even speak. There's
At that
people pop a
too.
balloon and they ain't even spoke. And you're like, okay, like,
Right.
That's the whole. I'm glad we don't have to do the dating process no more. Actually, like
Right.
I don't know. I couldn't survive another round of dating with somebody. Like not in this era, not in these
This
days.
era, yeah. This is the
Yeah.
cash that Zell pay my rent era too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, are you gonna we just had this conversation on another show
Oh, y'all
actually
did?
about yeah, because people were intrigued. They were like, "Well, do y'all do 50-50 because we get along so well and we building a business together and all that?" And the truth of the matter is like, no, we do 100-100. Like he can't give me 50% of him. I don't want pieces of somebody's love. Like I'm just not I'm old, like I said, I'm old school. I'm 48. So I grew up in a time where love was love. We wasn't dating for finance. So like I don't need him to finance me
Yeah,
because
but
I went to
that's what
college.
these
I've
new
been working my whole life. I don't need him to finance me.
that's what
All I
these new
need is to know
people.
that if we need to get something accomplished, that between him and myself, we can make that happen. You see what I'm saying? So like if the rent's due, who cares if he pays it out of his check or I pay it out of mine? As long as it gets paid.
Yeah, and I understand that, but not everybody does.
No, we know. Oh, we know because I've taken a lot of crap because I'm a business owner. I don't work in anybody else's business. So people always assume that I just don't work because I don't go clock in a 9 to 5 somewhere. I mean, I highly doubt that I can build a business not working. I mean that's kind of what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? It's a little aggravating, but there's another word I was looking for, but it's
Frustration?
yeah, it's a frustration in it because okay, if now, if my husband felt like I just sat around and ate bonbons and we weren't doing live events with celebrities and we weren't doing interviews with celebrities and we weren't moving in the circle that we move in, like you don't get to walk into certain events with no work behind you. It
Of course.
just doesn't work that way because if it did, all these millions of people that would hate on me and my work would be able to walk in those same events, right? But because they're not doing that type of work, they don't understand what it took for me to make it there. They just see me there and they think, I don't know what they think, honestly. Um, but I know if my husband thought I wasn't doing nothing, I'm quite sure we'd have to have a conversation about that. Like, oh, so you're just gonna sit here and not do nothing? Like, you know, and vice versa when it comes to him, like I he works he does work a 9 to 5 job. And he helps build our business as well. That's his choice, right? Because he could quit and but we'd have to figure out a way to make some money every day of our life for the next 30, 40 years of our life. You see what I'm saying? So the decisions we've made as a couple, it's not so much as to say he takes care of me,
But
because I take care of him too. We take care of each other.
that's what some of these females are expecting.
Oh yeah, I get it. I do get it because um okay, there's layers to that. There's layers to that because you're absolutely correct. And I actually know some personally that think like that. Um, but the thing about that is you don't there are men out here that has made it possible for those women to feel that way.
That
So
too.
therefore,
There's also what they
it's
call
gonna
simp.
always be a women use men for money, men use women for sex. It's always gonna be these two arguments that it comes down to always.
Right.
We just take those arguments out amongst ourselves so that it doesn't
Right.
affect our marriage because
That's great.
um, at the end of the day, I mean, I think I bring a whole table to the table. So we don't just have one table that we're adding to. We have two tables that need to be full. So that's where we stand on that actual part. I think I said that right there.
Yeah.
So what type of music do y'all listen to?
I listen to all types of music. R&B. I even listen to some soft rock, some pop, rap, hip hop. I listen to all kind of. It depends on what mood I'm in. Even reggae.
Okay, okay.
The same for me. I'm more of a 80s and 90s R&B go-to person. That's
Oh, like
literally
SWV
that's
112
my
and them?
workout music, that's my cleanup music, that's my mad music, that's my happy music. Like, but I work in hip hop a lot, so I listen to hip hop quite a bit. I have a very, but as far as genres, now he's the one that listens to genres. Like you might walk up and hear him listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers, right? And people automatically assume it's me blasting it. Couldn't tell you a word to a Red Hot Chili Peppers song if you paid me to, but he can. You know what I'm saying? Like I can tell you a Keith Sweat song. I can tell you a Shirley Murdoch song. I can tell you a Karen White song, a Babyface song, a Pebble song. But don't ask me about Red Hot Chili Peppers. You see what I'm saying? Because the only thing I
Yeah.
know about it is Anthony Kiedis, the lead singer. That's the only thing I know about Red Hot Chili Peppers. Californication, one song. That's the only thing I know of them.
What do y'all think of the state of R&B's right now?
Oh,
It ain't it ain't too many. It's getting there. It's getting there. But it definitely ain't the same. You
It
know.
ain't the same, bro.
It ain't.
yeah, I feel like today's R&B will never give you this because that's what music's actually about to me. The feeling
The
that you
feeling,
get,
yes.
the feeling you get behind the music, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so if you go back to the 80s and you listen to someone like, I'm not even going to say the major players like Whitney or Prince or we're not even going to talk about them. Let's talk about somebody like Stephanie Mills
Yeah.
or Regina Belle
Yeah.
or
The underrated.
Phyllis Hyman, right? When you hear their music, you're gonna feel something. When they hit them notes, if you don't feel something, you might need to go get a temperature check. You see what I'm saying? Because you're gonna feel something with that music, something. But when you hear like current day people, you might catch a vibe here or there, but what you're not gonna feel.
Yeah, that's about as far as gonna go. It's low vibe. That's it.
I mean, they're forgetting that R&B stands for rhythm and blues.
That is true because not a lot of people are like singing to their octaves like they would with Mariah Carey and Faith Evans and them. They're singing at a certain tone, if you think that's how I see it.
Right. They're using beat machine instead of live instruments, right? If
Auto
you
tunes and
yeah, and if you go back to the 80s and 90s R&B, they were using real live pianos when they were recording Piano in the Dark. You see what I'm saying? If you
No,
get a
I'm more
piano in the
talking
dark
about
today,
the
you're going to get an 808 and Heartbreak piano in the dark.
I'm more talking about the range of the person's voice and the feeling of the person's voice when they sing. Like a lot of times they're talking or they
The
have the
octaves.
same,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, the difference in like a soprano, an alto,
right, stuff like that.
uh, how do they? I forgot what the other ones are, but I know what you're meaning.
Tenor,
Like when Mariah
tenor,
Carey hit "Vision of Love,"
yeah.
there was an octave in there that you will not hear a current modern day R&B
That
singer
is, but
ever
that is,
hit.
I don't hear that. I'm looking for that.
and it's crazy because me and my wife be saying this like with sorry to cut you off,
Go ahead.
but with R&B, like even the sad, like the breakup songs back then was a happy feeling. And that's crazy, ain't it? Like it was a happy, still like a happy feeling. But these songs today, them breakup songs, and Like
They'll have
it's
you.
depressing. It'll
And
have you
then
like
the
this.
lyrical
Like what
content,
Benny?
the lyrical content is like somebody's mad at their baby father type of stuff.
Right, right.
So it's not like
Exactly.
oh, I'm depressed because of this. No, like fuck you, da 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 da, for instance.
Exactly. Like songs like even little teeny bopper songs like this, like The Boy Is Mine, or like fucking like excuse my language. But
That's
like
okay.
plenty of songs Whitney did. All her songs
Phony
had
and
the vibe. Like I
phony.
ain't heard not one bad song from Whitney. Like but like it's just the vibe that that the old school R&B artists put out. Like
And
Johnny Gill, like when Johnny Gill begged for you to
put
forgive
on
him,
that red
you
dress.
gonna feel him. Like you know what I'm saying? You gonna feel every feeling that he
But
felt
I
when he was
feel
writing
like
the song.
but I feel like it's because the industry aren't holding them to that standard no more when they're scouting the people.
They're
And
not. They're looking for
and
They're
image.
looking
also
for a
since
check.
most people are
They're looking
independent,
for the temporary feeling. They're not looking for longevity feeling, like the Whitney Houston feelings and the Luther Vandross
Yeah,
feelings.
they're
And,
not requiring actual vocals.
mhm.
the talent is
Now with the industry, it's like, okay, we found the R&B singer up, and the R&B singer is okay. Well, I'm in it for a check, basically. You know what I'm saying? So when they in the studio
entirely true.
recording, it ain't the love for the art. It's oh man, I gotta
It's
make
for
a
the
But
hit
money.
song. You know what I'm saying?
most people that's been in the game for a long time and come back, they're forced to tone down their creativity to match
Mhm.
today's standard. And I blame the
Right,
industry for toning them down, like watering them down.
right, right, definitely. And I feel sorry for a lot of these. I ain't gonna say no names on
No, don't
who
say
this
no.
happened to, but
Right, please
it's
don't.
a veteran,
Veterans,
wants to
there we
go
go.
and perform her old music, but she can't because she didn't do her business, her copyrights, and she doesn't own none of her hit songs that came out. And
Well,
that broke my heart, man. Like, dang, you
well,
know,
not exactly. People still perform their old music
they
in
do, but they
concert,
have to do it to a different beat. They have to,
not
you
all the
can't
time.
do it as it was. But
He,
her fans were saying that we want the original. But she was
But,
trying to explain to him, like, I can't do the original. I don't own my
yeah, the
own
artist
music.
he's speaking
oh,
on is saying they're the
that's something.
the people
Yeah,
are
sad.
requesting them to play their hits. Like, we want to hear this, we want to hear that, and she's saying,
I can't.
I can't.
So what she did, she tried to be smart. It was like, okay, I'm gonna bring different instruments and I'm gonna remix it. They wasn't
Like, I'm
feeling
gonna
that.
speed up this, I'm
Right.
gonna do that,
They
but
was
they
they was
still was
not
like,
feeling
no.
that. So she
Like,
had to cancel her tour. Yeah,
Woo,
the whole tour. And it was a worldwide tour. Like I'm talking
that
about
is
like 30
something.
to 40 cities type. Like, that's
And
I felt
that's with bad record contracts and bad deals coming
mhm.
in.
And that's watch your company around you because that person was signed to that person too. And that person really didn't have his best interests. He was all for a check too. Not he wasn't like giving her like little pointers like, yo, we should go and copyright your album, yo, because he wasn't doing that with her. He was just recording the albums, producing. Now he owns some of her music too. So he wasn't looking
of
out for
course
her.
he does.
Like,
Of course he owns some of her music
right.
if he wasn't guiding her to own her own music. Like,
Yeah, it's sad, man. You get in this industry, you better know what you're doing.
yeah, and that's part of what I do in the industry is I do some artist development, some consultations with artists. I research the laws and the rights, to the artists and what they can and can't file for monetization. Different things. I mean, I work with record labels, I work with entertainment groups, uh, individual
Well,
artists.
I've noticed that since a lot of these veterans or OG artists, they're not, getting as much, money from, they get the Spotify streams and whatnot, but they actually have to go out there and tour and
Hmm.
do appearances and get entrepreneurships. So like if they
Right.
don't have that, they're basically struggling really hard. And then
Yeah,
Definitely.
and that's not to cut you off. I'm sorry, but
oh nothing to say about
if 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 it was like there's so many ways for artists to make money that has nothing to do with a label or a deal,
now
and
everybody knows.
they're not educated enough to know how to manage their own careers and how not even to manage their own careers. I'm not discouraging people from getting managers. What I'm saying is if you can't, okay,
Learn much as you can on your own.
Well, the
right.
problem is
Especially when it comes to the paperwork.
a lot of people are so hungry that they want to get on, so they just get blinded by being a star, by getting signed. This person wants me, that means I'm gonna be on the radio. I'm gonna go out there. So they just
Right.
neglect the
Hmm.
business aspect.
Yeah.
Or they get
Right.
them very young and they get manipulated and taken advantage of. We see that all the time.
Yes. And honestly, okay, so I being in the industry, I have that view, but I also have a different point of view too,
Sure,
because
sure.
it's like, okay, if okay, say he wasn't my husband and he's an artist that's coming to me. I'm a record label owner and he's an artist and he comes to me, he's like, oh, I got $5,000 to invest in my career. In this industry today, $5,000 is not even a marketing campaign money budget.
Right.
So as a label, right, and as an artist, you should know that it's going to cost way more than $5,000 to break one song, let alone a whole album, let alone a whole movement, let alone a whole
Definitely.
brand.
And don't mess around and record that hit at somebody else's studio. Let's say, okay, you got 5 grand to invest. So, and you want to record a hit song, you're gonna have to record at the best place.
For
Down there is plenty of
you,
them,
right?
but Patchwork. Oh, sorry, I'm saying names, but they got studios that's basically if you want the best quality, them joints is like $350 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So
But then
you
they do that as a they do that as the advance back in the day. I don't know if they still do that now. They give them an advance.
Uh, well, they offer advances, but it's not an advance.
I
It's
wouldn't. I
a
wouldn't.
Oh,
loan.
Exactly.
It's a loan.
Exactly.
So
oh.
if a company say I call you into my office and I say I'm gonna give you $100,000 for a three
Three of
song
them?
EP,
Oh,
right?
three songs. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm gonna give you $100,000. Do you realize that you really just limited the next three songs of your career to $100,000? So if your song blows up overnight, right, and they get a $45 million distribution deal off of
You
your
only get
three
a
songs,
hundred
you're
thousand
only getting
dollars
a
out
hundred
of that.
thousand,
You ain't getting
and
nothing
you owe
over
them
a
that
hundred thousand.
100,000 back.
Definitely. And not
Because
only that, if you recorded at their studio, you owe studio fees, you all that little hidden
and you
fees they
don't
don't
owe the
tell you about.
master. If you use their studio, you do not own your own master.
Mhm. I learned that the very hard way.
The hard way, you
Man,
learn
I
those
love
lessons.
so much music because mind you, like you said, I'm an artist, and back like
For you,
probably
do
like
you rap?
10 years ago, yeah, I've done a lot of music, and I don't owe none of that shit because none of it was in my studio. You know what I'm saying? So I don't own none of them. Nothing. I don't own none of
Now,
that.
if
Oh,
you pay straight up, if you pay a producer straight up for the
Right.
work,
Oh, let me take that back. I
they
own
do
two
the
songs
paperwork for
out
you
of
to
like
own
a
it.
hundred songs I did.
two?
Two.
Nah, that's OD.
Yeah, that's why I said I learned so much in this business. I bumped my head 1,009 times. you know,
And these were all before he knew me, because I would have gave him better advice had
definitely,
I had known him at the time.
definitely,
Because go around, we're making sure that every I is dotted and every T is crossed. Because um,
Mhm.
I'm not the best at anything except being me, but I know the business a little better than some of the people he was dealing with
Definitely.
beforehand. And they literally fumbled the bag. They could have been making plenty of money off that body of work, and they fumbled the bag. Right. So any work going forward is registered. It's BMI, it's ASCAP, it's Dunsford and Brad, it's Dunsford and Brad, like Bradstreet. It's it's registering your logo, registering all your flyers that you appear on. You can make money a whole bunch of different ways being an artist. Oh, yeah. So
and even if you produce on the side.
Producers, actually, a good producer makes more than the artist does off the
song. I know. I heard. I saw Stevie J interviews. I know.
Mm-hmm. So it's like
you still get Biggie money.
I'd rather be a producer than an artist any day.
Sheesh.
And you'd actually rather be the writer than the artist. So some artists are writers. But a lot of artists are not writers. A lot of artists are performing other people's work. So,
they're not.
Right. I refuse so many. I ain't gonna lie. I refuse so many people that wanted to write for me. I even had somebody famous that wanted to write for me, and I turned them down. Like, I'm my own writer because I know if you write that song and it become a hit, I am not gonna have the same points as I would.
You're gonna have a 0.001 point. Right. That's what the artist gets off of the song. Yeah. 1 penny off of every dollar is what the artist gets. So
what? So how?
Absolutely.
So how does people like Beyonce and them who don't write their own songs get
tickets? They sell tickets.
Mm-hmm. They sell out so much.
They sell out.
It makes a difference.
It does make a difference. Like, okay, so that's part of what's going on in the music industry right now is they're reworking the digital tracking systems because people were getting paid off of music and couldn't sell 100 tickets. So how do y'all got 1 million fans and you can't sell 100 tickets?
Now they paid to say 1 million and this and that, but
when
the ticket sales, it's a different story.
Sexy Red and Ice Spice and them is having those type of troubles right now. The latest,
absolutely,
the latest rappers,
absolutely, yeah. Because having a man that says, "Oh, she's sexy," "Oh, she's bad," that does not equal them going to download and stream your music.
Yeah.
And just because a person streams your music don't mean they're going to come out to a concert and buy a ticket to see you perform it. So like,
and it's like they work so hard trying to go on different platforms and appearing at all these different places for festivals.
Right.
And that's the thing. See, that's what we do a lot of. We do festivals, music festivals, and we do live interviews with the artists, and we do correspondence for our radio station and so forth. So it's like, when we see them out there, these people have egos bigger than their body of work. Is what I'm trying to say. So like, people get irritated at me, but I'm one of the realest you'll meet, and I'm not a Debbie Downer. I'm a realist. So like, I'm not going to sugarcoat what I say to people. So when they're sitting there and they're going, "Oh, well, I'm a fan favorite. I went and I did." Okay, were you the headliner? Because I have questions to ask people, right? Yeah. Were you the headliner? No. Okay. Were you selling? Like, how many people used your link to get tickets? You know what I mean? Well, my homeboy and his girl, and like they can literally count the people that bought tickets from their link. And you want how much of an advance? Like, you're looking for how much money from the investor? And you cannot return the investment. If you cannot, it's not just about it has nothing to do with talent. It only has a 5%.
Sorry to cut you off, baby, but I got a whole outlook on the industry and on music now, because I'm like, if I was to get a choice, man, forget that advance, put it all in promotion. Whatever you're gonna give me, put that all in promotion.
Put that in my promo, put that in my marketing, get my PR in a room.
Double, triple that.
People
double, triple.
People are more, yeah. people are more independent these days. They don't even do anything with the label. They just drop their music online
And think
and
that
try to work from there. But then
they
labels
think just
try to
because they
collect
got
them, try to
50
grab them
million
because of
views.
that.
It don't, but see, when you work in the industry, you laugh at people like that. And not just because they don't want to, it's not about wanting to be a major label signed artist. That's not what I'm speaking of. I mean, you can do it independent all you want to, but guess what? You can't expect to be Snoop and do it independent because he didn't do it independent. You
Yeah.
can't expect to be
It's
Master
only a
P
few.
and do it independent
Right.
because he didn't do it
It's only a
independent.
few rappers in this game that went independent and still exist, and that's really a major they own entity. E40, Too Short,
E40
Tech
was not
Nine.
independent when he came out.
Well, not E40. I
E40
take
was
that back.
on a label.
Too Short was.
Too Short
Too
has
Short.
was on a label too.
But he sold, you know what
He could not get on
depend on
MTV
him.
without a label.
He didn't, but he didn't depend on them record labels.
But
It
right
don't matter,
now,
but he had one
own-
behind him.
he was
See,
but right now, your favorite artists, all they really need is a social media page to tell people where they're gonna be at and what they're bringing out anyway.
yeah, but they're
Yeah.
not selling those. They're not selling tickets with social media anymore. Everything fries out after a while. And that's where they're at in the music industry
Not
at
even
this
the
point.
not
I
even the
work with the
veteran.
actual executives at these labels. I hear how the music is going. So you're talking about people that, okay, I'm independent. I'm not signed to anybody. I'm a self-contracted player in this industry, right?
Yeah.
I'm also not out here selling millions of dollars worth of products either on purpose because I can't keep up with all that myself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I keep my pace at where it's at because that's how I can handle my pace. So if I start, okay, say we blow up overnight, say this show right here, right?
Mm.
I mean, we're both known podcasters. We have our own genres, our own audiences, right?
Yeah.
So, but say this particular episode is all over TikTok tomorrow. It's all over
Yeah.
YouTube tomorrow. It's all over Instagram tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
When that happens, literally what happens after that, you can't imagine. I can't imagine because we've never been in that position. So therefore, we don't know what we would decide to do with this episode if it goes viral overnight, right? We could turn it
Right.
into a whole nother podcast because we're viral now, so they'll watch it, right?
Yeah.
But eventually there's going to be a new show that comes through that's going to be more entertaining. They're going to
Exactly.
have more things to talk about. It's going to be
This
it's always
episode.
it's not yes, it's not about it's about collaboration over competition, and that's the problem with independence. They
Yeah.
can't collaborate over competition. They're competing with each individual independent that's out there. In this industry,
And then sometimes the
3,000 new
beat,
songs a day drops at
I
least.
believe that.
No,
And
that's fact. So when I tell you that, why would your song be worth
Especially, right.
anything more than somebody up in Montana or Oregon or Maine or Rhode Island? Like how? Why is your song? Oh, because I'm talking about money, hoes, and clothes. So is 98% of the other ones. So
right.
I mean, independence the right way to go if you know how to be independent. But you
Mhm.
can't go
Right.
independent and expect this team of
Right.
people to promote your event.
Exactly.
You can't go independent and expect this TV show to air your show on their network. You can't be independent and expect you can't be independent and expect no support. Independent means you're doing it by yourself. You're arranging it by yourself. You're like
They probably
so
have to
True independent artists. That's actually it's artists out here that people don't know about. That's eating good.
really
Independent.
good. I'm not
Real
going.
good.
Yeah, I
You
wasn't
know.
even front about that.
Yes, because they
Yeah.
did their business. They did
But
their
they
homework,
know
and
their
they have
home.
a loyal fan base.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
They have actual support, not just people that go, "Ooh, that's the thing of the day." Because that's what 90% of the people doing music is. It's just that thing of the day. And next year, we don't even remember those songs.
Yeah.
We
Like,
definitely don't. It's on to the next.
Every day, right?
It's on to the next bit.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. There's so many hits that you was hearing every day that you love that you forgot about, like that. You know what I'm saying? As soon as like a tone coming, like, oh snap, I remember that song. Remember that? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like it'll spark a memory in you, but it ain't something you remember every day.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when they sample these days, that brings me back memory of old songs.
Yeah.
But I'm not currently listening to those songs every day, so I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Because there's some artists that know how to sample and make good music with the samples. But some of
Not
those samples
everybody
they
has
need
that
to just
skill.
leave alone.
Right.
They do. Ruining the memory of the song.
Man, you just messed up a whole classic, you know.
John B. I remember John B. They Don't Know.
Oh
yes.
yeah, that he was definitely underrated, an underrated R&B singer, you know.
So
That's
Chloe
one of the first
Bailey.
songs my husband dedicated to me on Facebook. That just made me
Oh,
have a
that's
memory
cool.
when you said that.
So Gunna and Chloe Bailey, they remade it, and he went on a radio station and said, I can't stand that sample. I don't know what the hell they did with that. He was mad at how they
Right.
used it. It's like
But
they
yeah,
ruined
I
it.
mean, that's people's opinion. Shaka Khan ain't like Kanye West sang. You know what I'm saying? She hated it. You know what I mean? Through the wire, you know. But in my opinion, that was he did justice on that joint. You know, it couldn't have been done better than me. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the song with Gunna, and I didn't like the way they chopped it up. They chopped it and screwed up the chorus,
Right.
but yeah. So I got another question for y'all. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit.
All right.
How do y'all feel about Kamala Harris right now, potentially being the next president?
You ready for that answer, man?
Yeah.
Do you want the raw and the cut truth, or do you want the regular truth?
Just don't get nobody sued.
I'm not.
Let's go.
Or investigated.
I mean, this is my opinion. My opinion.
All right.
Okay, how can I say this? To me, it really don't matter who's in office because it's a higher than that they answer to. You know what I'm saying? Before any
Yeah,
bill is
that's true.
signed or anything. So, with that being said, I'm like rolling with the punches, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like really like sitting back with a bag of popcorn and watching the show, see how it's gonna turn out. Because this is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so for me, right, I'm a woman, and I would love nothing more than to see a woman president. Uh, just because
It's a woman.
it's a woman, and I mean, for the people that say, "Oh, you're only voting for because she's a black woman," absolutely, I am.
And ain't nothing wrong.
I am. But I also support her over the other because the other is not what they're making him out to be. And as a older person from the 80s, I remember everything about him and the Central Park Six, the Fifth Avenue evictions, the
Getting slick with the mom.
the slick mob ties and all that. So, like, I mean, I don't care for either candidate, actually, personally, but I will be casting my vote for Miss Kamala Harris because I want to see a woman into the president.
I'm still trying to. I think I'm gonna go with my wife on that. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't think the country is ready to respect and deal with a woman being in that type of power.
Well, guess what? They're gonna have to. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause what they gonna do? disobey her laws. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, y'all remember how Obama had a hard time when he was trying to
Yeah.
pass it.
And honestly, I went through a lot back then because I never really voted until the Obama election.
me too. He was the first president I voted
And
for.
so with that
That
being
is what's
said,
up.
like, I mean, him running is what got me involved to know what politics was going on around me and not. Because when I was growing up, I was told just to vote Democrat. That's what I was told to do. They were like, Democrats for the people, the Republicans are for, they're going to choose the rich over the people. That's what I was taught. So growing up, that's what I thought you was supposed to do. Now to me, it's not so much about the party of the vote. It's more so of, like I said, like I have wanted to see a woman in there, and if it's a woman of color, that's even better for
Even better.
me. That's even better for me. So, there's an issue of whether she's claims she's black or not. It doesn't matter what she's claimed or not. The fact of the matter is she is of color, and it will be a positive move forward if she is elected. And I believe that being elected will open up the same door that Obama being elected opened up for her. If you see what I'm saying. So like, while, in all honesty, since I've been alive, which the first president I remember was Jimmy Carter. He was leaving the office when I remember, and Reagan was coming in, right? So we haven't had a president that I feel would be a worthy president probably since. Like, the Bushes, they're all involved in cartels and stuff like that. Can't lie about it. It's what it is. Clinton's oversexed, party lifestyle. Hillary was running things then, right? And then you had Obama come in, tried his best to make a change. He did try. And people say he didn't, but he tried. They just stopped. And most of the things this is what people don't understand about politics either. The laws that they vote on now has been actual in the chain of command for years. So like, just because Obama got to vote on it while he was in the office don't mean he's the one that brought that plan together 5 years ago or 8 years ago. That means it finally came through the office when he was in office. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the things they blamed on Obama was things he had no control over. They were already in place when he got there. So, they gave him hell. And they will indeed give her hell as well.
Definitely will.
I don't know who's gonna win, honestly, because our nation is split.
Nobody knows.
Our nation is split, literally. So, I mean, and it's not just split between white and black. It's split between rich, poor, white, black, Hispanic, Asian. It's deeper than color at this point because, our whole future depends on who wins this. We can take it lightly and make fun of everything, but if we vote the wrong person in, we may end up in another Hitler era.
I think we voted the wrong person in a long time ago.
That's of course.
Why this is happening. You know what I'm saying? That we've been voted the wrong person in a long time ago, and that created another chain of wrong people in line. You know what I'm saying? That's just like when you beat a game, what's gonna happen? The positive side, but when you die, the negative side. Like to sum it up easy like that. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
We fucked up a long time ago.
So look, I have a question for you. Because I can't help but interview myself too. So okay, so you're up north, right?
I'm in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so he's in Brooklyn too. So okay, have you been paying attention to the Young Thug trial down here in Georgia?
Here and there, not too much.
Okay. So I'm a correspondent for our radio station for that. So
Oh, really?
I've actually been following it very closely, right?
Oh,
And I'm interested in the opinion of people that's not in Georgia, what they think about the trial itself. Like, not if they're guilty or not. Like, you know, not that. That's not for us to say or no or any of that. But I'm saying, like, the actual what y'all see on TV, and because we know how the trial's going here in
mhm.
Georgia. So
Yeah.
I want to know what people in other states think about what's going on in this trial.
The trial is too drawn out. They feel they keep changing the judges and stuff, so it's just like, what is going on? Are they actually what are they actually doing? Is they just dragging out his sentence? They wasting his time on what? Or is it really what's really going down? Because it's like you hear new stuff every week, but no, seems like nothing's going forward. That's
Nothing's
how I see
moving
it.
forward. Literally, this is like day 114 or something of the trial. They're still trying to admit new evidence 2 years later. They've literally just been working the case while working the case. So, like, they haven't had any admits to, there hasn't been like any evidence of anything they're trying to prove. It's just it's a whole lot of evidence, but it's not evidence for what they're trying to prove. Like, they have evidence that this person knows this person. Okay, nobody said they didn't know them. You know what I mean? Like, but there's no evidence saying that this person and this person conspired together to commit a gang activity, which is what y'all are saying they did. Like, you know,
Right. I,
here we understand what's going on. You see what I mean? Like, they're just trying to hang that man for political power and to make an example out of him. And that's, we know this, right? Because our other presidential electee also got drug into the Georgia DA's office RICO Act. So I'm gonna say this: if indeed that man is going to be elected, it's over for Fannie Willis. I'm just saying this trial will be over. The whole thing will be over because that man's going to put a stop to it at a higher level than what she's trying to pull. So so that's where my if, ands, or buts comes in with the actual election, because I really would like to elect one of the officials that's going to actually do something about this. Um, so but shout out to Young Thug, and best wishes for hopefully a mistrial with prejudice, so that we don't have to go through this again for another 3 years. But
yeah.
hey, so yeah, I just want to throw that out there for you, little Young Thug question, because it's getting out of control, and like you said, it's so drawn out, and they're literally trying to admit like 300 more witnesses, and it's already been going almost 2 years.
You
And
said 300?
yeah, they literally have like over 300 more witnesses on the list,
God
and they can't
damn.
even get past the one witness that's been on there for 2 months. So exactly.
Well, it was great having y'all on the show, Kim
Like,
and Nelson.
likewise, brother. Brooklyn
So
fella.
definitely give a little info about your show and your links right now.
All right. You can find us on all major platforms. The number one platform. You can find us on Instagram, Meet the Tyler's Podcast 2023. You can find us on Facebook, which is our regular names, Kim, Nelson. You can find us on TikTok. We are the Tylers. Right.
YouTube, we are the Tyler.
Oh, that's the YouTube.
Both.
Both are.
TikTok, YouTube,
Mhm.
We Are the Tylers.
Yeah.
And we have a website, www.wearethetylers.com. It is under construction, so there's no new stuff there, but you can go get a little quick bio and a couple of episodes from us.
Definitely.
So
look out for new music too.
All right. So yeah, so be right back.